G'day, Stephen Carey from offthegridnoz.com. Just a bit of an addition to that first video. I rushed through it, you know, I'm in the Middle East, I thought, you know, I've turned the place into a bloody construction zone. But we wanted to put up a bit of information about this day one. A few details I left out. Now, you can see here the pipe works that I explained were non-reticulated. I'll explain why we do that. If you look at the ground here, we've got very hard clay. I mean, extremely hard clay. It would take years literally to refurb, repair, rejuvenate the soil that we live on into anything that would take a plant and be kind to it. So what we do here in Central Victoria is we create the environment. Create the environment means, yes, I build all the shade cloth up for the summer months. And we do things like these pipe work, you know, I call them Dutch pipes, Dutch buckets, which are these ones down here. The details that I failed to mention. When you look at these, if you just have a look in the bucket, if I can get it out, there you go. That, just a little seedling in a plastic pot, a few pebbles around it, inside the bucket, just topped up with nutrient. I'll show you the nutrient we use. So to get a plant going up here this way, and these things, I kid you not, these things are just so seriously good. The paint's wearing off this one, but don't worry about that. They're so seriously good. Very quick turnaround. That bucket, once filled with water, like I said in the last video, you really don't need to add anything to it for probably a couple of weeks at the least. Alright. So yeah, they're a great cheap way. They're only a baker's bucket, or you know, any of the 20-litre buckets you can get from any of the hardware stores. These big barrels, like I said to you, you only have to buy that little bit of pipe there. It's only 14 inches of pipe. Little tiny spigot down the bottom. You can use anything that's kicking around. There's no dead set size on any of this stuff. With the wicking barrels, rule of thumb, you don't have your soil depth any more than 300. 300 mil is about the best depth, maximum depth to go to before the wicking will back off where it'll slow down. So these barrels being 450 high, I fill the bottom, at least the bottom 100 mil up with pipe, the perforated pipe, which I'll show you in a minute. And the gravel and the sand, that gives you about 300 mil of dirt above and that little 50 mil gap at the top. Now the nutrients we use on all this stuff, excuse the mess again, is this stuff. It's called One Grow. That 5 litre container, yeah, look, it costs you about 48 bucks. It lasts, even in a big systems like we've run, it lasts months. Alright, doesn't last weeks, doesn't last days, it lasts months. So yeah, that's what we use. It goes like 2 capfuls into 10 litre watering cans. So that's the nutrients we use. That's something I didn't mention before. These flatbeds, like I said, they're non-retic, they're plain wicking. They'll be serviced only with nutrients we add. You can add the nutrients into the little fill pipe if you want. That puts it into the reservoir at the bottom. Or you can sprinkle it on top. But that bed basically just runs off normal water that you would have out of a dam or a bore or your rainwater catchment, whatever. But again, because we live in a harsh climate here, you have got to remember that you put 20 litres of water in the bottom of one of these and you're not going to have to deal with it for 2 weeks. Alright? So not only do you get the benefit of not using so much water and having the sun evaporated away as fast as you blaze away, but you also don't break your back. And that's another thing I wanted to mention about these pipes. I wish my ladder wasn't there. Someone should really clean this construction site up. But yeah, look, these pipes, if you perhaps don't like digging, if you're in a hard area where the ground is like concrete like we have, these things are also ergonomic. Look, you can walk straight up to them. These little suckers, where's my hand? These little suckers will be ready to clip leaves off in probably about 3 to 4 weeks. The speed that this stuff grows in the nutrients, even a static pipe that you top up, and you top these up, just while I'm on the subject of what I missed, same drill. Little net cup, roots in the bottom. You just pour lift one of your net cups out, fill the pipe up. It's no big deal. Leave it about 1 inch down from the top of this, the outlet there. And the nutrients in them make them grow fast. No back-breaking work, so if you've got a few years under your belt like us, very ergonomic, you know. No bending down. Kerry comes out with a pair of scissors and just goes chop, chop, chop. We take our salads, our bok choys, our spinach, whatever we've got going. We've got some, you know, onions there that they always take a bit longer. These only went in yesterday, guys, so yeah, there's a few that are still waiting to stand up. But they're very ergonomic, these pipes. They're the sort of thing that you can do if your body's taking a hammering and you don't like to pick and shovel anymore and you're in a bad area. You can go to the hardware store, spend a few bucks, and yes, there's a few bucks to spend, but it's not cheap stations. And you can put this stuff together and it becomes a very ergonomic way. Like I said, that section we're looking at now, and this section, there's 52 and 24 is 76 positions, 76 plants. That's a lot. We'll be plucking leaves and we'll quite often take a whole bok choy and replace it. But yeah, 76 positions, not a shovel in sight, just a few litres of nutrient. Those pipes, by the way, probably we won't top those up at this time of year. I don't think we'll top them up for probably 3 weeks or more. You can what happens is the roots grow down to the water. So as your water level drops, and these will be on reticulation eventually, probably in the next few weeks, as the water level drops, the roots actually follow the water down. So these things are holding water for 3 weeks. Now, panning around here, going across the top of, I gotta love looking at these $20 barrels. They're just so good. Yes, this is the pipe we use. It's just 20 mil. It's called class 12 pipe. A bit hard to see, but yeah, 20 mil class 12 pipe. It's fairly cheap to buy. You only need a few meters of it. You're only using sort of short lengths. I use 32 mil, that one there. It's a bit bigger than that one. A bigger fill pipe than a discharge pipe. It's just for ease. You can use anything you want though. Now I mean, if you've got 50 mil kicking around, use 50 mil. It doesn't really matter. The net cups and all of that sort of thing you can buy on Flea Bay. The net cups run, if you're prepared to wait, they come from China. They've got a nice little lip on the top. You can see the lip there. Makes them not fall into the pipe. We just ordered another 100, cost me 47 bucks, so they're like 50 cents a piece, and they're reusable. When you pull a plant out and the roots are all over the place, you just clip all the roots off the outside of it and you'll pop the plant out and retain the net cup. And they come with a little foam thing in them. See a little foam thing there, inside there? The little foam thing just helps hold the plant in place whilst it gets established and whilst the roots get established. So yeah, I thought I'd show you the nutrient. I thought I'd explain why we actually do it this way. And obviously if you're in an area or a region where you've got great soil, fine. But if you just move to an arid patch, you can wait 2 years and start saving your compost and your scraps from your kitchen. I know you can do all that, alright? That's fucking duh. I mean, we all know that. But if you want high-speed gardening, what you're staring at here, even with the, you know, you don't have to hang it on a fancy shade cloth roof thing like I've built here. We've been planting this for a long time. It's why it is. But you could pin this on the side of your garage. You can pin it on the side of your caravan, for God's sake. You could pin it on the side of your bus, on the side of your woodshed. It's just a few brackets to pin 100 mil pipe up. Drill 50 mil holes at 200 mil centers. Put a cap on it. Glue on cap costs you $2. Drill a hole in it so that it doesn't flood. Fill it with nutrient, pop some, go down the hardware store, grab some seedlings, put them in, and in a matter of 24 hours or a day or so, you're going to have 20, 30, 40 plants that the bugs won't get, the slugs can't get, the sun won't get. Throw a bit of shade cloth over it. You don't have to bend down to deal with it, and they grow that fast, you'll be eating out of it within a matter of weeks. Alright, so that's the details. I only wanted to make this short. Like I said, I will do one maybe on how we put our particular buckets together, but again, you know, a 20 mil bucket, geez, that bucket won't need topping up for probably 2 weeks. And that's the thing, if you're in shitty ground and you don't want to buggerise around waiting for or pay for $1 million worth of compost or dirt or soil to make a huge garden bed that looks really amazing, and you can get away if you only need a couple of hundred plants, a couple of hundred seedlings to get you going, you can knock this stuff up real quick, relatively cheap, and bingo, it's in action straight away. So it's a speed thing. Because we lost our whole other garden when we sold the property, we really wanted to implement the same system down here to bring it into action really quick. It's taken a while, but this is what you wind up with, just a few days work. Like I said, nearly 170 seedlings in. They're already standing up, they've been in 1 day. Someone really should clean this. I've got to really finish building around this place there, Dinkum. Yeah. Alright, so that's the details. Well, some details. I showed you the nutrient. You can see the 100mm pipe, glue on caps, drill a 50mm hole. No bloody rocket science, alright? Absolutely no rocket science. You can put a fancy bed around these half barrels. You don't have to. You know, they will stay intact for a couple of years. And if you get a couple of years out of this sort of thing, hey, you're going to get about 4 rotations of something out of it. That's well worth the trouble, well worth the effort. You can always salvage the soil and the screenings and the pipe and put into another vessel later. So that's it. That was just a few details that I failed to mention on the last one. Ergonomics, why we do it. Why we do it is because this ground's like concrete and I'm lazy. I have enough fucking trouble digging these friggin' poles into the ground. I don't need to try and create a garden bed. That just won't happen. If you're in a really harsh environment, deal with your environment. Don't try and change the environment. You won't change what's out there, but what you can do is create your own environment. Create something like that. Hang it off the side of your shed, your caravan, your bus, your building, your garage. A few clips, put it on the wall, drill some holes in it, get hubby to get out there. Go buy a bottle of nutrient, chuck the little net cups in, order them from China. Cost you 50 cents a pop. Bingo, bang, fucking, and we are proof. We've been eating this stuff for a few years now. Absolutely the way to go. I can't emphasise that enough. I know a lot of us want to do the orthodox, you know, get out there with a shovel and toil and wait for all our compost to decompose, and 2 years later, well, fuck me, we have a lettuce and we bang it up, we've grown a lettuce after fucking 2 years. That's all good. But if you're in a hurry, if you're impatient, if you want ergonomically friendly, if you want efficient, if you want fast and you want low water use, I rest my case. Cheers from Stephen Carey from offthegridnoz.com, and this is the last one today because I've got to start cleaning this shit up. I've got to make more trusses. I made one up. Might show you how to make a truss one day. It's pretty simple. But yeah, I've got plenty of work to do. So, hope this has been of some help. Hope this sort of shows you what you can do at 100 miles an hour. You do have to spend a few dollars, and I know it's not the most purest way to do things. But between Dutch buckets, which are just scraps, a little bit of nutrient and net cup, bingo, they go. You can grow peppers in that stuff. No problem. Cucumbers. Zucchinis, we grew them all out of those Dutch buckets. We've gone up market this time. We're using Dutch bucket, we're using wicking barrel up vertical, wicking barrel horizontal, static hydroponic with no retic, and we're going to have miles of retic as well. This is all about sustainability. Provide for yourself. Avoid the dependence on the stores. Eat organically. Might cost you a few bucks to set up our way. I've seen systems that cost more than this. We're avoiding aquaponics at this stage, and not for reasons I want to get into an argument with anyone. We're just choosing, we are fully understanding of aquaponics. We're just not going that way. The nutrients aren't that much of a financial burden. So one day we may swap to aquaponics if I've got the time. This stuff I can go away. You can fire this stuff up with water. All of these beds go away for 2 weeks, and guess what? They'll be fucking alive when you come home. Alright? No fish required. That was just a dig for the aquaponic freaks. I love aquaponics, but yeah. This stuff you can just pile the nutrients in. Fill up your reservoirs on your wicking beds. We're going to have like a couple of 100 positions going. Well and truly. And you can go away for a week on holiday and not worry about your garden. Don't have to worry about watering. Just too easy, too easy. So cheers from me and Kerry from offthegridnoz.com. Subscribe and like, you know the drill. Fuck me, I get sick of repeating that. And we'll catch you on the next one. I won't do another update on this until they've got some size to them, so you can see what the difference is. But yeah, ergonomics, efficiency, speed, results. Shit, lot going for this stuff. Have a look at it. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.